All right, so hamstrings are one of the biggest problems that lead to back pain, hamstrings, and also hip flexors. So these are the easiest non-straining exercises or stretches you can do to ease lower back pain, specifically when you're getting into this type of training. One is to find a bare wall at your house, and I say you can do this in front of the TV or whatever may have you in your living room. Therefore, you can watch your favorite Netflix shows and stretch at the same time. So you want to lay down with your feet against the wall. Basically just having your legs up in an L shape. Depending on how tight you are in the hamstrings will depend on how far you are away from the wall. But basically over time you want to be able to get your hips up to the wall, have your legs straight, and from here you can play with the position of your feet, because that actually makes a huge difference versus having open hip flexors or pulling your feet together like this. And all you do is hang out here, watch TV, wherever your TV may be, and stretch it out. Again, it's going to be tough depending on how tight you are in the hamstrings, but work your way into the wall and work your way with your legs straight. That's one way, and this is the easiest way, I think. From there, we want to open up that piriformis muscle that's deep inside the glute. You're going to slide back just a little bit. You're going to kind of make a 90-degree angle with your knee. Grab the other foot and put the ankle on top of that knee. And as you can see, my hips are off the ground at this point because my piriformis muscle, my glutes are super tight. From here, you kind of relax there until eventually you sink down and your hips are parallel with the floor. You can also increase this by pushing your thigh away as well. I'm going to flip side so you see it from a better angle. From here, my hips are flat on the floor, grabbing this ankle and putting it on top of the knee, trying to drive my hips down into the ground. Now, if your hips are like super high like this, just slide back a little bit further and reposition yourself so your hips are somewhat off the floor. And again, you can push this knee away, really stretching out this glute and the piriformis. Okay? You just hang out here, five minutes on either leg, switch back and forth, and then you can switch back and forth between the two exercises. Okay? So technically that'll take care of the back portion or the posterior part of your body. Let's talk about the front of your body. The hip flexors. An easy way to do this, you can do it from the ground. The hip flexor stretch. Tuck your toe, have your knee directly underneath the hip. You can bring this foot forward just a little bit bigger than 90 degrees and just sink into it. And depending on how tight you are, you may feel this muscle here. Okay, and just sink and relax. Don't overcompensate the lower back or anything. Just really just lean into it. And almost think about dragging the knee that's on the floor across the ground and putting some pressure on that hip flexor. Now, if you're like, well, I don't feel this that much. I have really open hip flexors, so I don't feel this. What I'm going to do is grab a bench, a chair, an ottoman, something you have in your living room, your couch. What you're going to do is you're going to put your foot on the couch, and you're going to put your knee on the ground, and then sit up into it here. Okay? Like I said, my hip flexors are pretty open, so it doesn't really bother me as much. But you do want to stretch out both the posterior and the exterior part of your chain, so everything's working at the same time. The closer your knee is to the object, bench, chair, whatever it may be, the harder the stretch is going to be. The further, the easier the stretch is going to be. So from here, just relax into it. You can move forward and backwards, kind of floss it, if you will, for about 2 to 3 minutes on either side, back and forth for about 5 or 10 minutes. And these are things you can do while you're watching TV, watching football, whatever it may be. Okay? Hope this helps.